Segment of the show for today. We're talking to Mr. Ryan Williams and Mr. Leslie Davis, two members of Street Works, an organization that does HIV and AID outreach. And of course, Mr. Davis and Mr. Williams, I think Mr. Davis, we promised you before we had our first commercial break that we'd give you an opportunity to talk about outreach and some of the activities that you're involved in at Street Works.
Thank you, Dr. Heine. Yeah, I'm the outreach team leader. What I do is coordinate outreach events. A lot of times, the part of what I do leads into Mr. Williams because we do HIV testing on the street. And we, at StreetWorks, we try to serve the hard-to-reach population, the underserved population. We go into drug use areas, prostitution areas, and we try to reach the people who are most at risk. And we do that with, we give away condoms and information about our programs, as well as we try to get people to do the HIV test. We have a big mobile unit that we go and do those type of things. We also participate in health fairs. We coordinated ourselves, the whole agency, a fall festival in September where we invited different agencies from around town to come out and do several different types of screenings. We were diabetes, blood pressure, from different agencies around the city, and we brought them to the areas in which we serve the people in the South Nashville area. So in doing that, we reach a wide population, a variety of people. You know, we try to, we do a lot in the African American community. We have had some inroads with the Hispanic community, but a lot of it is in the African American community. And Street Works, basically, we are the best at that particular, in that population and doing what we do as far as street outreach and outreach period. I
understand, and of course I think that people often explain it that it's a real problem. This HIV, AIDS is in terms of numbers among African Americans. Is that why don't you say something about that in terms of how critical it is in reference to this population?
Exactly. Close to half, 45 to 50% of the persons who are infected with HIV are African American, and the number of African American women is much higher than anybody else in the nation at the moment. So that is a real problem. I think that the lack of education, a lot of miseducation, a lot of myths are still floating around, even though I've been doing this work 10 years, and I know you've been doing several shows over the years concerning this, Mr. Crowder. Everybody, the education is out there. I think that we still have a real big stigma. I think especially in the South about HIV, AIDS, persons who are living with HIV and AIDS. I think that it's important for us to dispel the myths and dispense facts concerning HIV and AIDS, how you get it, how you don't get it. And at this point, a lot of people still believe that it's a death sentence if you do get it. They don't want to talk about it. People who think they're not infected shun people who are infected. So people who are infected don't want to seek help, don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to socialize, and they don't want to tell people who they may come in contact and could possibly infect that they are HIV positive. And I think that is a big problem as far as, and especially in the African American community, the stigma. I think that we definitely have to get over that and embrace those of us